Hey there, YouTube! It's Justin, and today we are going to talk about how to get trucks financed, okay? And how to, expand, your business buying trucks. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is, time in business, okay? That's going to be very important, okay? What banks or financial companies like to see is profit, okay? Doesn't have to be a lot of profit, but you have to show profit, okay? And, I struggled with this for a while because with 2 trucks when you're trying to buy 5, okay, you got to show enough profit to cover 5. But there's a little loophole that we're going to talk about, okay? So, you're probably going to ask, where do you go to get trucks financed? Okay, there is a couple different ways. You can go to the bank that you have your business checking account at, if you will, okay? That's going to be extremely difficult. A lot of people don't like the trucking business, or they're going to want to push you to an SBA loan. Okay, like Huntington is big on these SBA loans, and if you got a DUI or any kind of fucked up shit, you ain't getting an SBA loan. It's fucking bullshit, but it's neither here or there. Or if you're trying to buy new trucks, you go to the dealership. I recommend the dealership. What they will do is the dealership guys, the salesmen, they're there to sell trucks, okay? They have relationships with finance companies, okay? What they mean is they gotta, hey, this guy A has good credit score, B, he's been in business for a couple years, he's looking to expand. That's what I did at Peterbilt Bob, okay, with Peterbilt Bob. So, the first thing is kind of showing profitability and having some good tax returns, okay, because what the banks will do is, if you have 2 pieces of equipment now and you're depreciating them, they will take that money and add that back into your net, or your net positive, or whatever the fuck. It's kind of confusing, and do that stuff. Now, financing new trucks, okay? Your interest rate is going to be anywhere from about 7% to, I had one that wanted to give me one at 20%. Negative. That's not going to happen. But I used that approval to get another bank to give me 8%. And then I took that one. But that's for a little bit later in the video. So you can go to your regular bank. Most banks are going to tell you no. Especially on startups or anything like that. No. Unless you got a fucking 800 credit score and $50,000 cash down, they're probably not going to fuck with you. Okay, just know that. But the dealerships will. Okay, because the dealerships there, PACCAR has their own finance company. Daimler Chrysler has their own finance company. And their idea is that they're making these trucks, they want to sell them. Okay? They want to move these things off the lot so they can, get you in there. So that's kind of where I recommend starting, is a dealership, or like one of those places that sells like used trucks. Not that Atkinson's place in Virginia, because shoo fucking wee, they are high. All their trucks are kind of overvalued. That place is high as fuck. Nobody even, if you say, well, I saw one at this, they're going to say, whoa, if it's at Atkinson's, they're a little pricey. But anyway, like the dealership might have a used truck at the lot that you're looking at that they took in on trade. They will help you get that thing financed. Now, to know on used equipment, you're going to pay a little bit more interest. Let's say 10 to 13%. That's just kind of how it is, okay? So, for me, okay, what I would tell you is, if you don't have at least a 670 credit score, kind of know that, it's going to be extremely difficult. You're going to hear a lot of no's, not a lot of yeses. Okay, that's number one. All right. The next thing is if you don't have any money down, not going to happen. You're going to have to put some money down. Okay, and what that is, that means you have to have cash on hand. That means you can't go borrow it from somebody and put it in there, because they'll ask you like, what the hell, where in the hell did you just get this? It wasn't in your checking account before. Old money, they don't give a shit. If you put new money in there, it's kind of like buying a house. Like, hey, where'd you get this? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I dug it up. I had it at my house. They don't really give a fuck. They're gonna tell you no. What was I gonna say? So, all right, that's kind of how I did it. Now, how I did it was a little bit different, because I bought 3 trucks right away. Like, I went up to Peterbilt Bob. I put $10,000 down on 2 trucks. Okay, he said, "Hey, I'm working on." That was just so he could start working on getting financed and all that stuff. So none of the trucks got sold. He gave us a couple weeks. He called me back the next day. Immediately got one financed. He said, "I'm going to try someplace else." He got another one financed through PACCAR, like that. Then I called him back and said, "Hey, man, you got any more coming in? I'd like to buy one more." He said, "Yep." So he used that PACCAR approval that I had and got another bank to give me an approval on a very similar truck. Okay, and then what we did is that we had 3 truck loans all approved at the same time, and I just signed all the deals at the same day, shipped them out to the banks. I bought 3 different trucks all in the same day using that theory. Okay? And what I'm saying by that is that you're allowed to shop the banks, so you can shop interest rates or whatever, but you can also use that against you to send them one serial number, get an approval for that serial number, send a bank another serial number, okay, on another truck that you're looking at, and it takes about 30 to 40 days for them to realize kind of what the fuck you did there. Okay, I'll tell you, it's a catch-22 on the other end. Okay, when you think you're going to pay cash for trucks and then you got to buy 5 more, that got a little bit more tricky, but we did pull that off. I use a couple different banks. I have one through this like leasing company, which actually isn't a bad deal. I'm basically leasing it for 5 years, and then I can either buy it for $30,000 after the 5 years, or I can just get rid of it. Or if I can sell it for $60,000, I pay them the 30. I get to keep 30. I move on. I kind of want to keep my equipment on a 5-year or less life cycle. For the type of work that I do, every 4 years the trucks are fucking junk. You might as well just start on over. So it's just kind of all that. But, you're going to have to go to your accountant and have them get your QuickBooks and all that stuff. You're going to need tax returns. They're going to want to see 3 months bank statements to show that you're depositing money, that you've been in business. I would say before you try to buy a new truck, you want to be in business at least 3 years. A used truck, you could probably do 2, but definitely you want to have 1 year tax returns under your business. And your credit score is got to be really good. The higher the credit score, the less they're going to fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? And also have some trade references. This is almost fucking as important as anything else. Like, let's say you have 1 truck, start buying your fuel on credit somewhere. That means that like your local gas station that sells diesel, or like as a truck stop type area, have a fuel card, have one of those. Also have credit accounts at parts warehouse places, like let's say a Truck Pro, a Fleet Pride, something in there where you have a revolving check count, because that, what you're doing is you're showing payment history. You're showing that you've been able to buy $1,000 worth of fucking parts and pay that off in 15 days. Or when you get the bill, send them the check right away. Tire companies, they use that stuff. Because if a finance company calls up and says, hey man, we're looking at this guy, and they're kind of wishy-washy, they're gonna call your credit references, and if the credit references is just like, dude, this guy pays us, he is awesome, we never have to worry about getting our money from him. He comes in, gets parts. Never been late on a payment, anything like that. That goes a long way. Okay, because I actually had a bank that was going to tell me no on something, and the guy that I was dealing with said, this dude is 38 years old, okay? I have, since his 18-year-old credit report, this guy has never missed a payment, not one. And he goes, he's not been late, he's not been anything in, 20-some years? And the guy goes, yeah, you're right, and they approve me. So paying your bills on time, paying your bills to small creditors is help. Like if you're a single truck, get a tire account somewhere. It doesn't hurt to get a tire account, buy one tire a month, pay it off. Or buy, after you buy one tire, buy 10 more. Okay? Get the bill kind of high, pay it off. Credit cards, American Express, things like that. That's all going to help you in the end to get trucks financed, okay? And remember that if you're trying to buy multiple ones, go to your dealership guy. Your salesman will already know how this game is played. They're going to send it out. They're going to get you an approval. Knowing some guys are going to be like, hey, I want $30,000 down on $200,000. I want, and you know what I'm saying? That's how I got PACCAR to approve me for like 3 more loans, is because they go, look, you already got $120,000 of this guy's money. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? He's been paying you. Bob talked him into giving me more trucks. And it worked out. Another bank that I'm through is BMO Finance. They're great to work with. You want to get into people that understand the trucking business of financing. They know that if you add a truck, that means it's more income. How much income do you make per truck? Can you sustain this payment? Have you shown good payment history? Period. That's how it works. And they don't really judge business credit or like commercial type credit on a score. It's basically based on a point system, okay? And how the point system is they look at your debt to income ratio. And right now, I'm telling you, mine is fucked because we have $2 million in loans, but last year's tax return showed less than that in total gross sales because of how the trucks came in and I didn't get to work them. Now this year we're going to be fine. We're going to crush that number. We're already well upon our way. So those are kind of the things that they look for. I can just tell you, again, do not take no for an answer. If one bank tells you no, go to another one. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're filling it out, fill it out at 5 different banks. Okay? Have 5 of them working for you. Okay? Those guys, that's how they get paid, is selling these loans. They don't get paid to sit there and look pretty in their fucking suit. They got to sell loans. Make them work for it. Earn that motherfucker. Because they're going to write you back and ask, they're going to want a whole bunch of different fucking paperwork. This becomes a full-time fucking job for somebody, is to try to get all their shit lined up. I tell you, usually, before I would go, here's what you need to have. You need to have at least 2 years tax returns, 3 months bank statements, have them printed off, ready to go, have a stack of those. Fill out a generic credit app, okay? You can find it online or whatever. Put your net income, your net worth, you and your wife on there, or whatever. If it's just you, put all that. Get all that shit together, okay? Have your trade references ready. Have all that shit filled out. Your banking, like where you bank out, how much money you have on deposit. Your QuickBooks. Show them how much they're going to ask for, like what they call a balance sheet or a P&L. That's a profit and loss. They can use that sometimes. So you're going to need that. Then you're going to need a balance sheet so that if, like for me, I went from trying to finance one track. Now I'm into like what they call a fleet buyer. So I'm at a different level. You pretty much get an approval on anything as a fleet buyer if you show good payment history. But they'll want a balance sheet. So they'll want to see how much stuff that you own. Okay, what do you owe on that? and that kind of helps them work out to see if you're good enough for them to give you a truck loan. I mean, it's not as scary as you think. I was intimidated by the process till I went through it about 9 times now, and now I pretty much I know all the paperwork they want. One email, it's already over there. Everything's good. I haven't been told no yet, and that's pretty impressive. I feel pretty good about that, but I've had to work to get the yes. It wasn't an instant yes. It was, it took some time, but just be patient, work with your dealership, and you should be kind of all right. But know that you got to have good credit score. That's number one, because you're going to sign as the personal guarantor, okay? And, you'll have to have your insurance, turn all that into them, because if the thing, if you don't pay for it, they want to know where it is so they can come get the motherfucker. But I don't know how they would come get a dump truck. I haven't figured that out. And I don't know how they come and get, like regular trucks. I guess they just call you up, or I don't know. I haven't figured it out. I hope I never have to go through that. But anyway, that's how that's how I got trucks financed. It was going through the dealership, not a local bank. A local bank does not understand the trucking industry. They do not want trucks on their books. They'd rather give you a house or a personal line of credit, things like that. So I hope that helps you guys. Hope you understand what I'm coming from. If you have any more questions, put it in the comment section. I'll make a follow-up video if people have any questions. But that's pretty much, how it goes. Like always, check out Instagram, Patreon, all that jazz. Like I said, if anybody is interested in, like talking to me personally or anything like that, you can email me at justinsturgilltrucking@yahoo, all one word, spelled exactly how it sounds. And we'll set up something for that, knowing that you're going to have to get out your pocketbook. My time is not free. I've helped a couple guys out like that, and it seems to be working out pretty good. So, like always, thanks for watching, and I gotta fucking go.